The room was dark. Only a blue light glowed from the center of the table. Around it sat 12 alien leaders from the Galactic Council. They were from different species. Some had scales, some had fur, and one had 6 glowing eyes. They had one thing in common: fear. "Earth has gone too far," hissed Counselor Vrothic, a snake-like alien with gold armor. "They build weapons faster than we can count. They do not ask for permission. They do not follow our rules." Others nodded. Earth had once been small and weak. Now it had grown. Too fast. Too powerful. "But they are still peaceful," said Counselor Marlin, a tall, thin alien with pale skin. "They have not attacked anyone," yet Vrothic growled. "They wait. They learn. They build. Then they will strike. We must stop them before it's too late." The table fell silent. Counselor Zur, the oldest and wisest among them, spoke slowly. "Are we sure? Is this fear or jealousy?" Vrothic slammed his hand on the table. "This is survival. Earth must be removed." One by one, the others gave a silent vote. 10 green lights. 2 red. The decision was made. Earth would be destroyed. Far away, on the edge of a quiet moon, a small human scout ship floated silently in space. Inside, Lieutenant Aaron Jace leaned forward, listening. His mission was to monitor Council activity. Nothing important ever happened until now. He had tapped into their secret signal. He couldn't believe what he heard. "They're going to destroy Earth," he whispered. His heart pounded. His hands trembled as he hit the record button. Everything had to be saved. Every word. But just as he began to send the message to Earth, something went wrong. Static filled the screen. "No, no, no," he muttered. "Don't fail now." On the Council's side, a red alarm flashed. "Someone's listening," said one of the guards. "Trace it." "Now," shouted Vrothic. The signal was blocked. The scout's message never made it through. Aaron stared at the screen in horror. The message was jammed. He tried to resend it. Nothing worked. He had only one choice left: escape. He turned his small ship around and activated stealth mode. If they caught him, he was dead. Back in the secret chamber, Vrothic smiled. The message didn't reach Earth. They are still blind. But not everyone was happy. Counselor Marlin stood. "This is a mistake. We should not have done this." "You voted no," said Zur quietly. "I know. And now I fear what will come next." On Earth, life moved as usual. People went to work, children played, and leaders still believed they were part of a peaceful galaxy. No one knew what the Council had planned in orbit around Mars. Captain Ryker stood on the bridge of the ESS Horizon, Earth's most advanced warship. He had no idea that his world had just been marked for destruction, but he did feel something was off. Any unusual activity from Council space? He asked his communications officer. "Nothing, sir. All channels are quiet." "Too quiet," Ryker muttered. Far beyond the stars, Lieutenant Aaron's ship was damaged, but still running. He flew through asteroid fields, trying to avoid detection. He had to reach Earth. He had to tell someone. But time was running out. Inside the Council's chamber, the plan moved forward. "We strike in 7 cycles," said Vrothic. "Earth will not survive." They raised their hands in agreement. A full fleet was already being prepared, and deep inside, a hidden lab on Earth, a machine blinked. It had detected the Council's signal, just a tiny piece of it. A message too broken to understand, but enough to raise a question. One scientist leaned forward and frowned. "That's strange," she said. "Why would the Council encrypt a peace signal?" No one noticed the storm that was coming. Lieutenant Aaron Jace sat alone in his damaged ship, floating just beyond Saturn's rings. His face was pale, lips dry, and his fingers hovered over the control panel. The ship was barely holding together, and fuel was almost gone. But his thoughts weren't about survival. They were about Earth. "They're planning to destroy us," he whispered. "I have to warn them." He tried the long-range communicator again. Nothing. The Council's signal. Jammers were strong. Every time he sent the recording of the secret meeting, it bounced back or vanished in static. The ship's AI spoke in a calm voice. Warning, hull integrity at 23%. Communication system is 80% jammed. Emergency protocol advised. No, Aaron said firmly. We send the message. We have to. He stared at the small red button marked Priority Earth Alert. It was supposed to send an emergency message directly to Earth's high command, using old coded frequencies, ones even the Council didn't know. Aaron hit the button. A soft beep followed. Signal sent, said the AI. Aaron leaned back, breathing deeply. For a moment, he allowed himself to hope, but far away, hidden behind a Council satellite, something woke up. It was a kill drone, silent, fast, deadly. It locked onto Aaron's transmission. Then, like a shadow, it flew straight at him. Inside the ship, Aaron saw it coming. Evade. He shouted. The engines screamed as the ship rolled sideways. The drone missed but, just barely. Then it turned again. Aaron pulled the lever, activating the emergency escape pod. Get the message to Earth, he told the AI. You are not in the pod, the AI responded. I know, Aaron said softly. But Earth needs to know. Launch it. The pod shot out from the ship, invisible and silent, carrying the only copy of the message. The drone followed the main ship instead, and seconds later, Aaron Jace was gone. The escape pod flew toward Earth, hidden behind rocks and debris, using a stealth pattern that Aaron had programmed years ago. It moved slowly, but carefully, on Earth. Captain Ryker stood in the war room of the ESS Horizon, orbiting Mars. He looked at a star map on the screen. It showed all known Council fleet movements. Everything looked normal, peaceful, but his gut said something else. I don't trust it, Ryker muttered. Too quiet, too still. His second in command, LT, Myra Chen, nodded. Agreed, sir. No messages from our scout ships. And the last routine check-in from Aaron Jace was 5 days ago. Riker's eyes narrowed. Aaron is never late. Back on Earth, in a military data center deep underground, a technician blinked in surprise. An old alert frequency had just lit up. Sir, she called out, waving her hand. We've received something. It's on a Cold War channel long-range emergency beacon, coming from Saturn. The commander leaned over her shoulder. What's the signal strength? Weak, but real. Patch it through, now. The message came in broken pieces. A few seconds of Aaron's voice. The words, Council, Plan, Destroy Earth, Trust no one. Then static. Replay it, the commander said. But the system showed an error. The pod's signal had stopped. The rest of the message never arrived. Captain Ryker was called in. He listened to the broken audio again and again. That's Aaron's voice, he said quietly. He tried to warn us, but it's not enough, said General Faulkner on the screen. No full message. No proof. Ryker clenched his fists. Then we prepare anyway. We don't wait for proof. We get ready. General Faulkner hesitated. If you're wrong, Ryker, we'll start a war. If I'm right, Ryker replied. They already did. Meanwhile, deep inside the Council's command ship, Vrothik smiled. Did the message reach Earth? He asked the tech officer. No, Commander. We intercepted most of it. What got through was weak, incomplete. Good, Vrothik hissed. They are still blind. Council fleets began to move. Silent warships drifted from hidden bases. Their weapons were armed. Their target was set Earth back in space. Ryker stood on the bridge of the horizon. He watched as defense ships across the solar system were activated. Tell every captain, quiet mode. All lights off, shields up. No signals, he ordered. Myra Chen looked at him. Sir, are we at war? Ryker stared into the dark of space. No, he said. Not yet. But war is already walking toward us. Far beyond Pluto, a sensor picked up strange movements, small shapes, big ones too, silent, approaching fast. No one spoke, but Earth's watchers were awake now, and the warning though, Broken had started something powerful, suspicion, preparation, and rage. The stars looked calm, but Earth was not. Deep beneath the surface of the planet, hidden from satellites and spies, massive command centers came to life. Red lights blinked, maps updated. Silent signals were sent to secret stations. Earth had been preparing for years. They didn't trust the Council. Not after the last cold conflict, when Earth asked for help and got silence. Earth's leaders had learned a hard truth. In space, trust could be deadly. Captain Ryker stood inside the war room, aboard the ESS Horizon. Around him, officers worked in silence, watching their screens closely. The ship was Earth's most powerful weapon, fast, smart, and nearly invisible when it needed to be. "We're getting movement near the outer rim," said LT Myra Chen. "Council fleets are shifting. It's quiet, but they're closing in." "Still think we're paranoid?" Ryker asked. "No, sir," Mira replied. "I think we're right on time." Ryker nodded. "Activate Project Sentinel." Mira's eyes widened. "Are you sure? Even High Command doesn't fully know about that." Ryker didn't blink. Now, far above Earth, small objects began to blink into existence. Satellites, disguised as space junk, powered up. They had been sleeping 4 years old tech, with new upgrades. These weren't for communication. They were weapons and eyes. They scanned deep space, locking onto heat trails, movement patterns, and ship signals. They saw the Council's fleets, moving in perfect silence, trying to hide. But Earth saw them, every single one. Back in the war room, Ryker smiled. "They thought we were sleeping." In a secret research lab under the Arctic ice, Dr. Amelia Rhodes watched a screen fill with red dots. Her team had worked for 10 years on Project Sentinel. Now, their work was finally in use. "They're close," said her assistant. "Within 2 solar units." "They're too confident," Amelia whispered. "But they don't know what we've built." The Council believed Earth was blind, that it was still begging for peace, that it had no idea a surprise attack was coming. They were wrong. Earth had cloaked its true strength behind a mask of weakness. Its warships were hidden in asteroid belts. Its weapons powered by new, tech-cold plasma, hyperbeam torpedoes, drone hives. All of it kept secret. Ryker's plan had been simple. Look weak, stay silent, and watch. And now, they had seen enough. "Send coded messages to all ghost fleets," Ryker ordered. Across the galaxy, hidden ships received a signal. Old freighters opened to reveal gun batteries. Mining rigs unfolded into battleships. Civilian ships became deadly traps. Earth wasn't preparing anymore. It was ready. Back on the Council's command ship, Vrothik stood over a large star map. "Our ships are in place," his officer said. "Earth has no reaction," Vrothik hissed with joy. "They still sleep. Begin Phase 1 in 6 rotations." But something on the map blinked. "What is that?" He growled a signal. "Faint. Could be background noise." "Track it," Vrothik snapped. The signal led nowhere. It was a ghost on purpose. Earth had learned from the Council. Now, Earth was using their own tricks. Captain Ryker sat alone in his cabin. He looked at a photo of Earth, blue, green, full of life. He remembered when he first joined the fleet. Back then, people believed in peace. He still believed in peace, but peace only lasted when you were strong enough to protect it. My voice came through the comm. "Sir, confirmation from all fleets, ready for counterstrike, if needed." Ryker stood up. "Good. Let's give them one last chance." On the Council channel, a message appeared. It was from Earth. It was short.com. "We see you. Stand down. This is your only warning." Vrothik stared at it. Bluff, he said. Empty words. They don't even know we're here. But then his officer's voice cracked. Sir, one of our scout ships is gone. No warning, just gone. Then, another. And another. Earth was not blind. Earth had been watching and now it was striking. Back in the war room, Ryker gave his order. Hold fire unless fired upon. But if they cross Mars' line, he paused. Make sure they don't cross back. The stars were no longer silent. Engines roared in the deep. Ships moved into attack positions. Weapons charged, cloaked in shadows. Satellites blinked, like distant eyes. Earth was no longer playing defense. The hunter had become the trap. Space was quiet, but not for long. Near the edge of the solar system, just beyond Neptune, something began to move. First one shadow, then two, then dozens. Shapes that looked like asteroids suddenly opened. Armor plates slid back. Weapon bays came alive. Lights blinked on. They were not rocks. They were warships. Earth's hidden fleet was waking up on board. The ESS Horizon, Captain. Ryker stood tall on the command deck. He looked at the main screen, showing hundreds of red dots moving toward Earth. The Council is closing in, LT Myra, Chen said. Still in stealth, no official message. Ryker nodded. And they won't send one. They think we're unprepared. They think we'll beg for peace. He turned to his crew. Let's show them how wrong they are. The command was sent in silence. Across the galaxy, Earth's ghost fleets powered up. Ships that looked like cargo transports dropped their disguise. Battleships cloaked in asteroid fields now revealed their weapons. Stations on moons and dwarf planets opened hidden bays. It was like the galaxy had blinked and Earth had changed, from invisible to unstoppable. Inside the Council's command cruiser, Vrothik leaned over a glowing map. Our scout ships are being destroyed, one of his officers reported. We're losing contact one by one. Vrothik's eyes narrowed. That's impossible. Earth doesn't have the power. Another officer shouted, Sir, new signals detected. Massive fleet. Decloaking near Neptune. It's not Council ships, it's Earth. Everyone froze. No. They had no fleet in that sector. Vrothik whispered. He was wrong. Earth had a fleet there, and now it was moving fast. Captain Ryker watched his ships come online. Massive destroyers with black holes, carriers loaded with drone hives, frigates, designed for silent attacks. Even small gunboats were joining the formation. Report from the ESS Black Storm, Mira said. All weapons locked. Stealth mode dropped. We're ready. Good, Ryker said. Let's begin the welcome. The first battle started near Pluto's orbit. Council scouts came in fast, looking for weakness. But Earth's drones were faster. They moved like shadows. No heat, no sound, just sudden fire. Explosions lit the dark. One by one, the Council scouts were erased. No warning, no survivors. On Earth, the Global Defense Command watched in silence. We've waited years for this moment, said General Faulkner. Let's make sure we don't waste it. He looked at the main screen, where dozens of Earth fleets were now fully visible. A technician whispered, They're beautiful. Another one added, and deadly. In the Council chamber, panic had started. This isn't just defense, a leader said. Earth had this ready. They were planning to. They were watching. Another added. All this time, they were watching us. Vrothik slammed his fist on the table. They tricked us. They made us think they were weak. He turned to his officers. Send every ship. I want Earth crushed. But it was already too late. Ryker's ships weren't just strong, they were smart, linked by AI systems. Each ship moved with perfect timing. No gaps, no blind spots. Council fleets entered the trap, and Earth's fleet closed in. The battle near Uranus was fierce. The Council sent 3 full cruisers. They were large, powerful, and fully armed. But Earth sent one ship, the ESS Nova Blaze. It looked small, but it was fast, very fast, and it carried a weapon the Council had never seen before. In seconds, the Nova Blaze dodged all enemy fire and launched a glowing sphere. It hit the first Council ship and turned it into dust. The other two tried to run, but drone swarms followed them, tearing into metal, breaking shields. 5 minutes later, all 3 enemy ships were gone. On board the Horizon, Mira smiled. Council forces are falling back. Ryker didn't smile. They'll be back, in greater numbers, but now they fear us. In a deep Council base, an old historian whispered, "We feared Earth would wake up, and now they have." The galaxy was changing, and Earth was no longer the quiet planet in the corner. It was something more, something powerful, something dangerous. The Council chamber was filled with silence. A huge screen in front of the alien leaders showed footage from the outer rim, flashes of light, destroyed ships, and black smoke drifting in space. Earth's fleet had crushed their first wave. Quick, clean, cold. Vrothic stared at the screen, his jaw tight. This can't be real." "It is," said another Council leader. "Earth has the upper hand. Their weapons, their technology. We never saw it coming." Vrothic turned to the others. "Then we strike harder. We send everything. Burn their planet to ashes." But Councillor Zur raised his voice. "No. They gave us a warning. They didn't attack first. They waited, watched. Even now, they are giving us a choice." "What choice?" Vrothic barked. Zur pointed to the screen. Another message had arrived from Earth. "This is Captain Ryker of the Earth's space fleet. We saw your betrayal. We watched your fleets move in the dark. You still have a chance to leave. But if you continue, we will not hold back again. The next strike will be total." The room fell silent again. Some Council members looked down, others closed their eyes, but Vrothic stood up. "Weak words. Earth tries to scare us. But there's still just one planet." He slammed his hand on the control panel. "Send the order. Full invasion." On board the ESS Horizon, Ryker received the reply. "They've chosen war," Mira Chen said softly. Ryker nodded. "Then we give them war. Full counterstrike authorization." Across the solar system, Earth's fleets moved forward. Ships uncloaked from the asteroid belt. Defense satellites changed position. Hidden weapons on moons powered up. Every command center lit up with red alerts. Earth had given the Council a chance. They didn't take it. Now, Earth was done holding back. The first target was a Council fleet near Jupiter. They had 20 ships. Earth sent only 5. The battle lasted 4 minutes. The Council ships were hit by EMP bursts, disabling their shields. Then, railguns tore through their hulls. A swarm of drones flew in and shut down engines with surgical strikes. When it was over, no one spoke. The wreckage drifted in silence. The Council couldn't understand how Earth was this strong. "How did they do it?" asked one officer. "They didn't stop building," said another. "While we laughed at them, they prepared. They turned every weakness into a weapon. And now, the Council was losing fast on Earth." People watched the news on giant screens. "Council forces attacked us without warning," said the news anchor. "But our fleets responded with power and precision. Earth is not backing down." Children stared with wide eyes. Old soldiers smiled with pride. And the rest of the world understood something new. Humanity was no longer afraid of the galaxy. In the war room, Ryker stared at the star map. Council forces were scattering, running but one large fleet was still heading straight for Earth. Myra pointed to it. "That's their final play. If they break through, they'll hit our planet." "They won't break through," Ryker said. He turned to his crew. "Ready, Omega Protocol?" Everyone froze. Mira whispered, "Sir, are you sure?" "If we don't stop them here," Ryker said, "there might be no Earth left to protect." Omega Protocol had never been used. It was Earth's final line of defense, a weapon not built to destroy ships but entire fleets. On the dark side of the moon, a hidden facility opened. From it rose a massive cannon larger than anything ever seen before. It charged silently, pulling energy from the sun and deep core reactors. The Council fleet approached, full speed. They didn't know what was waiting. "Target locked," said the moon base commander. "Fire," Riker said. A beam of white light shot across space. It hit the center of the Council fleet. The energy pulse expanded like a growing sun. For 1 second, everything went white. When the light faded, nothing was left. No ships, no signal, just silence. Back in the Council chamber, leaders watched in horror. Vrothik's hands trembled. "We should have listened," someone said. "We were warned," said another. Vrothik collapsed into his seat. "They gave us a chance," he whispered, "and we chose war." In orbit around Earth, Captain Ryker stood on the deck. "Status?" he asked. "Council fleet destroyed," Myra replied. "No survivors, no threats remain." Ryker looked out the window, down at Earth. He didn't smile. "This wasn't a victory," he said. "It was a warning to them, and to us. Because once a war begins, it changes everything." And Ryker knew. This was just the beginning. The war was not over. It had only changed shape. The Council's main fleet was gone, destroyed by Earth's final weapon. But the damage had already spread. Across the galaxy, fear and chaos followed. Small planets that once trusted the Council were now left alone. No help. No answers. The Council was broken and Earth was rising. Captain Ryker stood inside the command deck of the ESS Horizon. His face was calm, but his eyes were tired. He had seen too much fire, too much silence after battle. Mira Chen walked beside him. "Sir, we're getting strange signals from the outer colonies. Riots, power struggles. Some are even calling for Earth's protection." Ryker raised an eyebrow. "Protection or surrender?" "Both," she said. "They've seen what we can do." Ryker didn't answer. He stared at the screen, showing star systems blinking red signs of distress, attacks, or complete silence. The galaxy was burning, and Earth was watching. On a desert world called Beltrax 9, a local governor once loyal to the Council now sent a message to Earth's high command. "We request Earth's aid. The Council is dead. Pirates are attacking. We'll trade resources for peace." Earth received dozens of similar messages. Mineral-rich worlds, tech hubs, trading colonies. They had lost their leaders. Now, they looked to Earth. Inside Earth's central war room, General Faulkner held a quiet meeting with top advisors. "Our fleets are being asked to take control of zones far beyond Earth," he said. "We could stabilize the region, or rule it." Someone asked, "Is that what we want?" Another voice replied, "Is that what we planned?" Silence followed. The truth was, Earth never wanted to lead the galaxy. They only wanted to survive. But now, they had power, and power never stays quiet for long. Back in deep space, Counselor Zur watched the flames of his broken world from orbit. He had escaped the destruction, but not the guilt. He sent a private message to Ryker. "We betrayed you, and you won. But what now? Will you become what we feared? Or will you be better?" Ryker didn't reply. Not yet. Because even he didn't know the answer. On a peaceful moon in Sector 19, children once played under green skies. Now black smoke covered the sky. Unknown warlords had taken control, using leftover Council weapons. A small Earth ship arrived, dropping supplies and drones for protection. The people cheered. They painted Earth's flag on walls. To them, Earth wasn't a destroyer, was a savior. But Ryker knew the truth. Every day, the line between hero and conqueror grew thinner. "Are we saving them?" he asked Mira, "or are we replacing the Council?" Myra didn't know how to answer, because both could be true. Inside the Horizon, AI systems reported strange movements. "Sir," said the tech officer. There are Council survivors regrouping in the Caro Belt. About 12 ships looks like they're trying to rebuild. Ryker nodded. Send a message. Do not move toward Earth territory. We will not warn you twice. The ships turned away. Fear had become Earth's new weapon. Back on Earth, public support was strong. News channels praised Ryker and the fleet. People called it the second rise of humanity. Songs were written, statues built, but Ryker felt no pride. He stood on the deck, watching the stars. I never wanted to be a symbol, he said. Just a soldier doing my duty. Mira replied, sometimes, that's all it takes to change everything. In a dark part of the galaxy, a group of alien scientists gathered. They studied the remains of Council technology. One of them said, if Earth did this in silence, what else are they hiding? Another replied, we must prepare. Earth is no longer just another world. Earth is the new center. And the galaxy agreed, world by world, system by system. The old order had fallen, a new one was rising, and its name was Earth. Captain Ryker stood alone at the edge of the command deck, watching the stars. The galaxy that once ignored Earth now looked to it in fear, respect, or hope. The Council was gone. The wars were quieting, but peace had not come, because power had changed hands, and now Earth was the one holding it. Inside Earth's global command center, leaders met to make a choice that would change everything. The galaxy is falling apart, General Faulkner said. We stopped the Council. We saved colonies. But now systems are asking us to rule them. One diplomat asked, do we really want to lead the galaxy? That's not why we fought. But if we don't, said another, someone else will. Pirates, warlords, maybe something worse. There was no easy answer. Earth had become strong to survive, but now, survival had turned into control. Across hundreds of systems, Earth's ships stood as guards. On planets like Beltrax 9, Uno Prime, and Haven's Reach, Earth's flag flew over city halls. People cheered. Order returned. But not everyone was happy. Some feared Earth's growing power. Whispers spread across black markets and secret channels. They were betrayed, and now they're becoming the rulers. Is Earth the new Council? Ryker heard the whispers. He felt the weight of them. He never asked to rule. He just wanted justice. But now? Justice had brought power, and power always brought more questions. In a secret facility near Saturn, a high-level AI called Core had been quietly watching the galaxy's changes. It sent Ryker a private message. You stood against betrayal. Now others stand before you. Will you become what you once hated? Or something better? Ryker didn't answer right away. He walked through the halls of the ESS Horizon, remembering the faces of those lost in battle, human and alien alike. He knew one truth. If Earth wanted peace, it had to decide what kind of peace it would create. At a council of surviving alien leaders, a quiet vote was held. Earth controls our skies, said one. They are the strongest now. We must either fight them or follow them. They chose the second, and Earth was invited to form the new galactic order, but not as a member, as its head. Back on Earth, people celebrated. Fireworks lit up the sky. Media called it the Age of Humanity. Children learned new history. Statues of the old council came down. New monuments were built, but Ryker didn't celebrate. He sat in silence. Mira Chen entered his cabin. Sir, she said softly, they want you to lead the new order. All systems are waiting for your answer. Ryker looked at her. What do you think? I think we paid the price for this power. We lost lives, trust, maybe even ourselves. Ryker nodded. We were betrayed, he said. They tried to erase us, and we rose. He stood, eyes focused. Now we decide who rules, and how. At the heart of the galaxy, on a planet once ruled by the Council, Earth held its first universal gathering. Leaders from every world stood before Riker. He walked onto the stage not as a conqueror, not as a soldier, but as a human. He looked at them all, and he spoke. We were betrayed by those who feared us. They lied, they attacked, they burned our skies. But we didn't die. We stood together. We fought back. We became yes, but we also became responsible. And now, we face a new test. Not of war, but of leadership. He paused. Earth will not become the old council. We will not rule with fear. We will protect, guide, and rebuild together. But let all know this, if anyone threatens peace, we will rise again. The hall was silent. Then, slowly, it filled with applause. A new chapter had begun, not just for Earth, but for the galaxy. Back on the horizon, Riker looked out at the stars. They tried to break us, he said quietly. But hi, this story is made by a human just for fun. It's not real. All the characters and events are made up. Thanks for watching.